Hey RedEye, it's Peter Facinelli from the Twilight Saga. Make sure you check out Breaking Dawn Part 2. If you like red eyes, we have lots of them in this movie.
Sure. Well, obviously, we're here to talk about Twilight. Can you think of a surprising reaction that you got as you traveled around the world promoting this movie? Has there been anything that sure you get inundated with screams and all kinds of posters and stuff all the time?
Yeah.
Something that really stands out as surprising?
Screams are okay. The crying sometimes gets me. Sometimes people will cry, and I'm like, I feel bad. I don't know what to do with that. And
like when they see you.
yeah. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe they think they're scared of me. I don't know. Like I might bite them.
Have you ever moved to cry when you see them?
No, I usually just give them a big hug and make sure that they know I'm just a person. It's okay.
Well, I saw that at the premiere. Someone was holding a sign that was an enlarged photo of Rob's crotch.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I think the LA Times or someone was reporting on that last night.
Was it full frontal crotch? I mean, where'd they get that?
But I don't know what kind of photos are out there.
I've never seen that photo or Rob's crotch. I'm just going on record saying that.
Okay, that's good to know. Has anyone? I realize that people kind of emphasize Kristen, Robin, and Taylor in some cases, but have people held up posters like of you, or what do they say specifically about you that you remember?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, there's always some kind of posters with like the cast or me, or that usually they just ask me to sign them. I mean, the oddest thing that someone asked me to sign, I think I was in London and said someone asked me to sign their britches, and I didn't know what that was. I was like, yeah, sure. And then she kind of rolled up her underwear. I was like, no, I didn't know that was a britch. I'm not signing britches.
Was there anything in this last installment that felt like really new for you to experience?
Yeah, we had all new cast members in the last one, which was kind of fun because I felt like we were like the seniors in high school and they were like the freshmen coming in. They were kind of wide-eyed and excited, and we were like, we had done it already, and they'd be going out and being like, "Hey, come out with us," and we were like, "No, we're tired. We're getting some sleep." So we had already been there, done that, and now we were just like wanted to get to work in the morning. And but it was fun watching them kind of come in and look at it from a different perspective because we had already been there. So it was like now they were getting the opportunity to come in and see it fresh, and be a part of it fresh.
Were you asked any questions like being that senior member? Do you remember something that like anyone was asking you for advice or anything like that?
No one ever asks me for advice
About anything.
About anything.
Well, when you guys were in town a year ago for the red carpet that you had here for Bringing On Part 1, and I interviewed Nikki, she was telling me that shooting in these kind of depressing places with lousy weather takes a toll on you. What effect did that have on you?
Yeah, I wished I could get one of those seasonal disorder lights or something. If I had to do it again, I would get one of those lights because it's like 6 months of just rain every day, and then you're on set and like, you're in hair and makeup and costume and you can't really do anything because you can't be like, if you're not working for a few hours, it's not like you're like, I'm going to go to the gym. You can't, or I'm going to go out for, I can't even go to like the convenience store because if you walk in as Carlisle Cullen, it's creepy.
Did you have an experience like that?
I did walk into a 7-Eleven once on the way to work and I had on my full hair and makeup. Actually, it just came from work and I had a couple hours, so I was like, I'm gonna go and see, I'll test out Carlisle Cullen and see if people would actually freak out, if they actually saw a vampire. Right. The lady didn't even look up, so that made me feel good that the Cullens actually could, walk around town and not be noticed.
I was impressed that you seem to be starting your own dance craze.
Yes.
What inspired you to do that, and how do you feel about Gangnam Style?
Well, I had my dance before Gangnam Style.
You did?
I did.
When did you come up with the driving the car dance?
Oh, years ago. But I just kind of now gifted it to the public. It was something that I do behind closed doors and with my kids. I love putting on records and having like little dance parties with my kids, and we have fun creating new dances. So I created that dance a while back.
How did you come up with that?
I don't know. I mean, the music flows and my body just takes over, man.
You weren't actually driving?
No. It just started happening, and then I gave it a name.
That's cool.
I'm working on a new one now called Flying the Plane. It's a good one.
Really?
I'm gonna let
Can we get a preview?
well, it's a lot of like arm movements and like running around, and you gotta sway a little bit, you know. But I'm gonna let the dancing in the car go for a little while, and then maybe I'll debut the flying the plane.
Can you combine the two dances, or is it the kind of thing where they're
I
done
guess
separately?
you could actually, you know, when we do our dance parties at my house, we go through like, you know, many moves, so it's not like you do one move for the whole record.
Okay.
And so you kind of switch it up. You got to switch it up. But
Well, I read that the cast of Twilight played the Twilight board game at one point on
Yeah.
set. Is that right? How did that game go, and were you playing like your own character?
well, it's a Twilight board game, so I don't know. No, it's just questions about the
just
movie.
trivia.
It's trivia. So I thought I would fare really well because when we shot these movies, I was like the Wikipedia of of the Twilight, because I did so much homework and so much research that the other actors would actually come up to me and they say, when did you bite me? And I give them the exact date, time,
You
when it was
remember it all?
raining. I don't remember it now because it's been 4 years. But when we were actually filming the first Twilight, like I knew it front and back. Like I knew exactly what time of day it was, if it was raining, if it was, you know. But I love research, so that's part of the fun of it. But then we played this board game, and I thought I would do really well, but there was a lot of parts of the movie that I realized I wasn't in. So there was a lot of high school, questions, and I was like, oh wait, I wasn't in that part, and I wouldn't know the answers to the high school stuff. And so Ashley Greene actually ended up winning.
Oh, really?
I came in second place, but
Out of how many?
Ashley, it was me, Ashley Cullen, Jackson, the actor who played Riley. His name escapes me right now because I've only got an hour of sleep. But I think Ashley cheated,
Really?
personally, because her character can read minds, so or see the future. I mean, her character could see the future, so I think that she actually used that power to cheat.
So you think you all adapted the powers of your character?
Yes, I have the power of compassion, so even though she cheated, I forgave her.
It seems like it's somewhat easier to have that than the power to see the future. Don't you?
I would go with the reading of the minds of the future. I think those are cooler gifts. I mean, I talked to Stephanie. I was like, I kind of got the short end of the stick with the compassion. I mean, I could have, I was like, couldn't you have made him like fly and have compassion? Because you can't really like smite the Volturi with compassion. The Volturi's coming at you. You're
could
like,
try.
I'm going to smite you with compassion. Stand back. I will be the most compassionate man in the room if you don't get out of here.
We stepped down.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you were so compassionate.
Actually, in Eclipse, I had to do a lot of action sequences, and I had to do a lot of killing and murdering of the other vampires. But I always said sorry in my head after. It's bittersweet, I enjoyed the whole experience and had a fun time, and it's really powerful experience to have this fan base that grew as we progressed to more of a family, and you'd see these fans year after year at the red carpet, and you got to know them by name, and
Really?
yeah, and I'd be like, hey, you cut your hair this year, So it was a family on set, it was a family off camera with the actors, but it was also a family with the Twilight fans.
If there were 5 more installments, would you kind of embrace that? Or?
I'd love that character, so I would do it as long as I could because I had such a fun time doing it. And as an actor, the one thing is your job's going to come to an end. So usually you do one movie, and I always have a little mourning for that character because you know that you're never going to play that character again. And I feel really lucky that we were able to extend this from not just one movie but 5. So if anything, I feel like lucky that we got to explore these characters for the last 4 or 5
You
years.
mentioned having a certain level of seniority on the set. Obviously, you have considerably more acting experience than some of the folks in this movie. Were you able to advise any of the cast on? Certainly, there's been a whole lot of tabloid nonsense going on in the last few months about.
There's no advice to be given on any of that. I mean, I like I said, I never give unsolicited advice, or people never really ask me for advice anyways. I just kind of, I'm proud of them for how they handle being under a microscope, and that's hard as it is. I don't think anybody could ever give you any kind of tips or advice on that. It's just you deal with it the way you feel like you need to.
Do you think on any level with Twilight, obviously they've been so successful, people rave about them, the reviews somewhat all over the map. Do you think movies like this with built-in audiences to an extent it almost doesn't matter if they're any good? People kind of go out and
Well, you hope you don't. I never go to work thinking, people are gonna see this, who cares? You know? So I always go to work, and I think all the cast members went to work trying to do the best job we could, knowing that a lot of people were gonna see them, and I enjoy them, and you can't please everybody, but I think for the most part, when you have an audience come out like they have, that says a lot. So hopefully they'll come out to see Breaking Dawn Part 2 and they'll enjoy it just as much. I feel like this last one really gives you the sense of completion of these movies, and I think a lot of the fans will be satisfied.